My name is Pete Ondeng, and I'm from Nairobi, Kenya. I have lived and worked in many, many countries, both in Africa and out of Africa. I had the privilege of living in Europe actually for 4 years. I lived in the US for 8 years. So, in many ways, I sit on both sides of the divide, if you will. One foot in the Western world, the sort of the affluent world of plenty. Then you have Africa, which is, I think, arguably still the continent that has a lot of needs that still need to be addressed. I have worked in many capacities. My background is finance, so I have worked in financial services. I have had the privilege of heading microfinance organizations. I have been a lender, an investor, but also someone who has facilitated other people to invest in the continent. People who want to, particularly social investors, who want to put money in areas that have a double bottom line, which is able to bring a return and at the same time be able to have a social impact. Right now, one of the things that I'm focusing on is on just leadership development. I am the chairman and co-founder of an organization called the East Africa Leadership Institute, which I hope is going to be partnering with Tallberg in a number of activities in the coming months and years, especially in Africa. This is my second time to come to the Tallberg Forum. The first time was 2 years ago. And I just find it such a refreshing getaway to be able to get together with a group of people who are thinking out of the box, struggling with issues of relevance. Why do we do what we do? Where are we going? And to really try to answer that Tallberg question, how on earth can we live together? I think it's an awesome question. And it's a question that we've dealt with in so many different ways already in just a few days that I've been here. But I'm here also to contribute to the conversation about food and the food crisis that the world is going through, and particularly from an African perspective, to contribute to a conversation that has already taken place here. Looking at technology, looking at the emerging food policies around the world, trade, and all this kind of thing. Are we asking the right questions? Are we looking down the same window when we have these conversations? Who are the winners and the losers of the emerging issues, technologies, and so on that are going on? So that was largely why I came this time. One of the things that I have come to appreciate about Tallberg is you never really know what's going to come out. I came here with a set of answers, which have all sort of been shattered. And one of the things that I'm walking away with is that there really is no answer that one person can give you. We're all right, we're all wrong, and we're all looking to find solutions. And one person's solution may actually not work for somebody else. But it is also very clear that you cannot try to solve a problem by just looking through one slice of the conversation. For example, the food issue is not just about agriculture. It's about markets, it's about transportation, it's about policy, it's about finance. It's about so many different things that are all interrelated. And it's not about solve this one and somehow you have all kinds of things sorted out. I'm particularly interested in the conversation that attempts to address why Africa is lagging behind. Because as the world surges forward with the forces of globalization and new technology and communication, you can still say that Africa is being left behind, by and large. So the question is, what do we need to do and who needs to do what if this is something that has to be addressed? Because it's not going to solve itself. It's something that has to be addressed by somebody or some people. I think one of the unfortunate things is that so often we look at Africa as a them thing, us and them. As a matter of fact, Time magazine, it was The Economist. The Economist ran a story, it was a lead story almost 10 years ago that was entitled Africa the hopeless continent. And in that article, they were asking questions that one of the questions that I remember standing out and still rings in my head today, it said, does Africa have a character flaw that keeps it from developing and makes it incapable of moving forward? And the whole article, and in fact the conversation that many people have in regard to Africa, is that it is somebody else's problem. They need to sort themselves out, and yet it is a global problem, and we all have to be responsible for what happens in that continent.